Let's talk movies. I'm here on my couch with my iPad because I want to talk to you guys about movies. It's no surprise that I'm a certified film kid alumni. I mean, look at me. I went to film school, which is also where I found my love for film photography, if that's what you're here for. Fun fact. But when I was in film school, I was the type of person that never watched movies in theaters because I watched so many films in class and I was like, I'm so busy making films to be watching them. But now I'm making up for lost time and I'm really enjoying going to the theater again and watching movies. This month I saw 11 movies and I rewatched one show. So let's begin. We're gonna start off this video talking about a movie that has been one of the most moving films I've seen in a very long time, and I loved it so much that I started reading the book. We're gonna talk about Hamnet. Directed by Chloe Zhao, this is an adaptation of the book Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It's a retelling of the tragedy of Hamnet, aka Hamlet, they're interchangeable, the son of William Shakespeare. I've only gotten 100 pages in, so I'm not sure exactly how the book is going to pan out. But in Chloe Zhao's version, there's more of a focus on Agnes, who is seen as this witch, this outcast, and I think that's what makes the film so moving. The score, the editing, the cinematography, it's just so beautiful. You can tell that there was just so much love and care on set. As far as the book goes, we jump around in timelines so we kind of know what the outcome is before we get there. This take on it is more of a linear style of storytelling. I kind of like that I watched the movie first and then I'm getting into the book, so I kind of have a visual in my head as I'm reading the book, which is a rare thing. And it might be biased because I'm only 100 pages in and I already love the movie, so that's just my take on it. If you've read Hamnet and watched Hamnet, let me know what you think. In its essence, this movie is a tragedy. And this is going to be a hot take. Bringing it back to reading. If I'm reading like a fiction novel, I don't want it to be wall-to-wall tragedy where it feels draining. But Hamnet, I feel like, although it's a tragedy, it doesn't feel like they're making entertainment out of human suffering. You know what I mean? Also, if a movie has On the Nature of Daylight in it, you know it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. I'm contemplating putting it in my top 4, but I'm going to be watching it again with a friend today. I'll let you know how that goes. The rest of my friends. I'm ready to cry again. I'm so ready. I hope I don't. I feel like I will. Okay, I'm fresh out of the theater. As you can tell, I cried again. Costume design was amazing. I love the fact that Agnes is wearing like a really bright red when we first meet her, and it slowly gets darker over time. It reminds me of like when blood dries. Editing wise, it's unobtrusive. We don't really cut a lot to different angles. I feel like editing like that kind of feels like memories. So good. Back to where we were. I am a huge fan of Canopy. I will shout from the hilltops that everyone needs to get Canopy. If you have a library card, you can get Canopy for free, bro. This is where I found Rabbit Trap. If you're into sound design and Dev Patel, you might like this one. This quirky, artsy couple move out to the Welsh countryside. One of them is this very niche but prolific music artist, and she does experimental type music, so they pretty much spend their days recording natural sounds in the countryside. And one day they realize that they're being watched by the oldest young person ever. This child shows up and immediately wants to like sink their teeth into this couple's life. They want to be their child. They definitely had a certain character or like a certain actor in mind when they casted or even wrote this character. You want to feel bad for the kid, but their presence is just so cloying. Something I really enjoyed about this was the chemistry between Dev Patel and Rosie McEwen. It's just so believable. They seem like this quirky couple that's just been together for a long time and they're comfortable with each other. The movie is very much like a show don't tell movie. I feel like most of the audible experience in this film is through sound design and like the music and the natural sounds. So whatever feelings that they're having are expressed visually. There's not a lot of exposition that's given to you verbally, which I appreciate. I think that because of that, there are certain plot points that feel underbaked, or they just don't feel like they're there all the way. And I appreciate how ambitious the film was. There are moments where it wants to be a drama, moments where it wants to be a thriller, sci-fi, fantasy. There's a lot going on here, but there's just so much going on that like it just doesn't nail it on the head. It was beautiful to watch and to listen to. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it was beautiful. And sometimes that's what you need, you know? Not every movie has to be a masterpiece, is what I'm telling myself. Next was The Moment. Unless I completely missed all the promo for it, it seemed like it was an instant like, buy your tickets now, Charlie XCX is power walking through an alleyway. Do it. That's all it takes for me. We were all there for Brat Summer. It was a great time, and this mockumentary plays with the idea of what if Brat Summer just never ended. It's so different, it's so unique. It's like a caricature of Charlie XCX. It's how everyone kind of imagines her. Although she's playing a caricature of herself, she also speaks to the idea of no one wants to be the last one at the party. Most of the shots are handheld and they're really tight, and there's just a painterly look to it, so it kind of gives the feeling of every moment is fleeting. Everything's moving so fast, this is just a memory. They also interwove, if that's a word, archival media so seamlessly. I just really appreciated the controlled chaos of it all. Even from an editing standpoint, I feel like we jumped the line many times, but it just works. It's so chaotic, but it's intentional. I just knew when I saw Jamie Demetrio on the screen that it was gonna be funny. I couldn't get the image of him in Fleabag out of my head, I'm sorry. It's funny, it's chaotic, but it also has moments of introspection, and you really get to see Charlie get lost in the applesauce. This was another crazy theater experience, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If I see a movie in IMAX and when you enter there's a giant curved screen, I'm gonna give it an extra star. I really am. I saw Wuthering Heights, and I know everyone has already said their piece on it like the moment it came out, but I also read the book, so I feel like I'm entitled to talk about it. We all know most people hated it. Most people said it was a waste of 2 hours and they want their 2 hours back. That's fair. I feel like I can't talk about Wuthering Heights without talking about like the blatant miscasting there is. Jacob Elordi's in everything, and yes, I'm wearing a Priscilla sweatshirt. Does it say Jacob Elordi on the back? Yes. Emerald Fennell saying that she wanted to make the movie she imagined when she read the book when she was 14 years old. Also valid, but we're missing such a major part of it. It feels like we were served the middle chunk of a cake that's underbaked, you know? If you haven't read the book, or if somehow you haven't heard the discourse about the miscasting of it all, Heathcliff is not a white man in the book. This is why he's been outcasted. Nobody wanted him. He's mistreated from childhood to adulthood. He's tossed aside, which sends him on this vengeful, evil path. But I will say, the title card with the hair in the beginning was really sick. The soundtrack was fun. Watching this right after The Moment, it's like, I have such a greater appreciation for Charlie XCX now. What can't she do? Anyway, in a world of so many adaptations and so many period pieces, Emerald Fennell wanted to do something bold and different. And if we just had a little bit, just a smidgen of the social commentary that made the book work, I think the movie would have been more successful. I really enjoyed Saltburn, so I thought that it was really gonna push the envelope and be like this crazy thing, but when I saw it I was like, oh, this isn't that crazy. It's just two toxic people that shouldn't be together. Honestly, it was fun being able to discuss it with my friends after the movie. We were just like gushing and like laughing and hee ha-haing after the movie, and I think that was like part of the experience. So I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. It definitely wasn't the book, like at all. This one had been on my list and I really wanted to see it in theaters, but there's only so much time and so many movies to watch. Next is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It's such a hard movie to talk about just because it's so heavy. We basically follow Linda while her entire life is falling apart. Her daughter's health condition is worsening, her husband is impossible to reach, and there's the literal gaping hole in her apartment. Everything around her is falling apart and she somehow has to keep everything afloat while also not losing herself in it all. It's suffocating, it's funny, it's relatable, and it's almost every woman's worst nightmare. A cinematography choice that I really loved that really pushes the suffocating feeling is how up close we are for so much of the movie. Any moment where she has just a second to breathe, there's always something that comes up next. It feels like pulling out weeds where you pull out one and then immediately like two more come up after. The casting was also surprising since I hadn't like seen anything about it. I didn't know that Conan O'Brien and A$AP Rocky are also in it. This movie brings levity and depth to a topic that more movies are discussing now, which is necessary. What happens to your selfhood when you become a mother? Next is The Humans, another Can It Be Fine. It's another family drama, but Steven Yeun is in it. Are you sad? Okay. Bridget and Richard move into a duplex in, I believe it's Manhattan, somewhere in New York. This place has seen better days, be it many years ago, maybe when it was first built. But they've just moved into this place and they invite Bridget's family over for Thanksgiving. So you already know this is going to be a mess. The entire time you can just feel like something is bubbling under the surface. Each of the characters are so complex, they all have their own inner problems going on, and the more that they try to push it and the more that they try to hide, the more it shows in other places. This is an adaptation of Stephen Karam's own play, and I can feel it when I'm watching it. It feels like a play, maybe to the movie's own detriment. A fun little family drama for the whole family to watch. Watch it on Thanksgiving. You shouldn't do that. We Live in Time. I watched this in theaters and I cried. I am such a crybaby when it comes to movies these days. I used to be able to distance myself so much, but now like I'm so easily moved. This movie is a freaking roller coaster of emotions. We meet Hamnet and Tobias. Before I get into their whole like chemistry, they were at the right place at the right time when they met, or wrong place, right time when they met. Depends on how you look at it. We follow their relationship and the trials and tribulations, the highs and the lows of it, and it kind of jumps around in time. You kind of have to fit the puzzle pieces together as they happen to see how we get from the past to the present. It's also heavy and it also deals with who you are when you become a parent. There are moments where it's also a little bit cheesy and maybe a little bit predictable, but I think in a movie that could be like really heavy and sad, Florence Pugh brings such a brightness to it that really works. And I remember when they were doing the press tour on it, I was like, oh my god, I have to see it. Like they just mesh really well together. And it really hits home that life is funny and it's sad and time is fleeting. So if you're into that and you love Florence Pugh and you love Andrew Garfield, you might really like this one. Moving on to a weird dystopian film, we're talking about The Assessment. So I went into this movie blind on an international flight, and I could tell very quickly that I would have to switch movies. It gets weird. This is a dystopian film, a dystopian sci-fi kind of film where couples have to go through an assessment to see if they qualify to have a child. This takes place during a time where the earth is pretty much uninhabitable. Global warming has taken over, and the only real safety is within these government regulated domes that people can live in. The houses that they give you are gorgeous. Can we talk about this conversation pit? It really makes you question, you know, what would you be willing to give up in order to have safety? Like, what freedoms would you give up? See, this is all fine and dandy, the part that gets really weird is the fact that the assessment is held by a woman who has to pretend to be their child. She puts them through super bizarre tests to test their willingness and their abilities as parents. And I watch these movies going in blind, not knowing what they're about, and I'm like, you'd put this on an international flight? I watched Call Me By Your Name for the first time on a flight. I had to switch movies. Anyways, what I really liked about this film is Elizabeth Olsen's performance for sure. You can see that she's battling between past traumas, having mommy issues, and how she navigates that, and her want to be a mother, even though the circumstances are a little bit strange. Like, this is a woman that's your exact age and you have to pretend to be her mother. It gets strange. It gets explicit. The fact that you have to pretend that this woman is cosplaying a child, like, I don't know, it put a weird taste in my mouth. Another thing that takes me out of the movie a little bit is the pacing. The beginning is fine. I feel like the dinner party scene is where this movie really shines. Middle gets really repetitive, and then the end is just like a 20-minute bomb of information where it's like, it feels really rushed. I really appreciate the production design though. It shows that you don't need a huge budget to create a visually successful sci-fi movie. Hello. Next is Sentimental Value, another Oscar nom. I've been wanting to watch Sentimental Value for so long, and I'm glad that I could still see it in theaters. I talk about this in my February vlog the same night that I watched the movie, so those feelings are pretty fresh. This is about two sisters, Agnes and Nora, who are unexpectedly reunited with their estranged father, who is a world-famous film director. Out of the blue, their father comes in and he wants Agnes to star in his upcoming screenplay. Obviously, having such a estranged relationship, she says no, but Elle Fanning's character, Rachel Kemp, is the one to say, yes, I will do it. This is such a great movie. From an editing standpoint, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I love the fact that you can see how each of the shots linger for a really long time, and you can see how each of the characters' expression changes. They're all figuratively and literally putting on performances. You can see how they're all like putting up masks, trying not to disappoint each other, trying not to disappoint themselves, just trying to pretend that they're okay. I love the fact that we can see the mask kind of come off every single time. I have to mention the poster as well. The poster is like a perfect representation of that because all of the faces kind of blend into each other. They're all kind of reflections of each other. It's a really successful family drama where it's like, I can't stand them, but I feel like I am them, and I see myself in them. This is Ian's Letterboxd review of it. I mean, I get it. I too love a good shadow, and I too express myself better through art and not through talking. Okay, onwards. I obviously didn't get my weird movie fix with the assessment because I watched The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I've seen Begonia and I've seen Poor Things, and I really liked what I saw, even if I was a little bit disturbed. This one is about a doctor and his family that live in this idyllic suburban neighborhood, but there's Barry Keoghan's character who tries to integrate himself into their family. I can see why he's trying to get out of that typecast now, but he plays it so well. I feel like it was the Begonia before Begonia. The main thing that took me out of the movie was the dry delivery. It reminds me a little bit of a Wes Anderson film where every single line is given in a very bullet point, formulaic, dry way. And to an extent, many might disagree. I feel like it works for a Wes Anderson film just because it juxtaposes, you know, the bright and quirky production design of it all. But for this one, everything is so clean and it's so sterile, and the dry delivery doesn't really add to it, in my opinion. It makes it feel stale. It was strange, it was upsetting. Visually, it has that Yorgos Lanthimos style, the super wide and also low angle of it all. So visually, I really enjoyed it. If you're in for a weird movie, with shock value and a side of Barry Keoghan being off-putting, this one might be for you. The last movie I'm going to talk about is The Worst Person in the World. After really enjoying Sentimental Value, I knew I had to watch The Worst Person in the World, and it had actually been on my watch list for a really long time. Shout out Canopy once again. This movie's about Julie, who is pretty much navigating the world. It feels like it's almost a coming of age movie where she goes through different majors, she goes through different professions and hobbies, and it was at that point that I felt like, oh, a lot of people can relate to this, where you're, in your early 20s and you're trying to discover yourself. It also has the aspect, similarly to Sentimental Value, where there's this comforting narrator that's kind of Julie's inner voice. But the thing about it all is, despite it being seemingly a movie about Julie's liberation, it also centers a lot on men. It kind of gives manic pixie dream girl. Every single time that Julie starts to lose herself a little bit, the answer is always men. It's edgy, but not to the point of like there's any sort of well-roundedness to it, or there's any sort of revelation that comes from it. I love the part that makes you feel like life is so short, so take every chance you can to discover and rediscover yourself. I didn't hate it. It was a fun watch. I really enjoy Renat as an actor. She's great, especially in Sentimental Value. But to end February off on a high, watching The Worst Person in the World only made me want to watch Fleabag again. I watched Fleabag for the first time last year. I'd heard about it. I knew about the hot priest, but it took a while for me to actually sit down and be like, okay, let's see what this is about. Literally my favorite show. It's so smart and it's so witty. Let me talk about what it's about first before I get into it. We follow Fleabag as she navigates grief and love and life and family problems. She breaks the fourth wall a lot, which makes it such an iconic show because I've never seen a show like this ever. It's literally the epitome of ending on a high because there are only 2 seasons, and with its success, I feel like they could have easily squeezed out more, but Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the writer and creator of it, decided that that was all there needed to be, and I respect that so much. Fleabag is like a hurricane. She can't help but make a mess of things wherever she goes, and it's all to kind of deflect what she's feeling inside. We're the only ones that kind of get her. She looks to us, literally, to say her inner thoughts. It's what I wish The Worst Person in the World was. A lot of Fleabag centers around Fleabag's relationship with men and how she kind of uses them as a distraction. I cannot recommend it enough. If you haven't seen Fleabag yet, the episodes are short, but they're impactful. They're so funny. They're so funny. And I had to rewatch it again because of the moment. That's pretty much everything I watched this month. This is my first sit-down video talking about movies, which feels long overdue because it's only my right as a film kid, Tomorrow I'm going to be watching The Bride, and the next day I'm going to be watching an early screening of Undertone, which I'm really scared about. Uh-oh, I'm back and I have a ballot. It is that serious. Is it though? I don't know. This is going out Oscar weekend. I want to quickly go over my picks, and I have 2 sets of picks. Like the pick that I want to win, like in my heart, and then the pick that I think will win. Let's get into it. I'll save the best picture for last. Keep you on your toes. For leading actor, my brain and my heart agree. I think it's gonna be Michael B. Jordan. He played 2 people in 1 movie, guys, come on. Next is supporting actor. My heart says Benicio del Toro. I know I'm supposed to look at it in the scheme of one battle after another, but I like him, okay? I really liked him in Phoenician Scheme as well, so I'm rooting for him. But I think it's gonna go to Stellan Skarsgård, who is also amazing in Sentimental Value. So next is leading actress. Okay. This is so tough. This is like really, really tough. My heart says Jessie Buckley just because I sobbed. Her performance was just incredible. Could not contain myself. But I think Renat will win leading actress for Sentimental Value. Next is supporting actress. My heart is saying Inga for Sentimental Value, but my brain is saying Tiana Taylor. They play completely opposite characters, but we'll see. Director, my heart and my brain are saying Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. No further explanation needed. Adapted screenplay. I hope Begonia wins something. The act of getting it from paper to the screen, I really enjoyed Begonia. So I think my heart and my head agree. Cinematography, I really like the cinematography in Marty Supreme. I kind of wish Begonia was on here. It's such a unique cinematography style, but I think Sinners has it. It's a Hollywood movie. It's like a big movie, you know? It has that look to it, and it was shot on film. The last one I talk about before Best Picture will be film editing. My heart says Sentimental Value just because I'm a slow movie girl. It's not a flashy style of film editing, but it's perfect for what the movie is. But I think they're gonna give it to Sinners. I haven't seen Sinners in what feels like a year now. I don't even know. It could have possibly been a year, but it's been a while, so. And then finally, Best Picture. If it wasn't obvious already, if you're like 30 minutes into this video and it wasn't obvious, my heart says Hamnet, but my brain for some reason is saying One Battle After Another. And I can't tell you why. It's just a hunch. I will see you in March with my next watches. Bye. Come, let's say bye. Say bye.